Good morning, good morning, good morning. Peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless, and I'm back with another video. Man, oh man, it's a it's a very chilly Thursday in the city of Wynn. Um, I really still trying to get used to the cold, even though I asked for it. But I really just thought summer lasted a little too long. I wanted fall to be the one season that stretched out. I love fall. It's my favorite season. Like October, November. But man, we dead in the winter now. It's winter time. Well, yeah. Anyway, man, one thing I can say so far, one thing that is down as far as because we in this economy right now. As you got to work around the clock just to keep your head above water. One thing that's down that all across the country is gas prices. I posted in the community chat where I'm at. It's like 259, 260 somewhere. Some places 230, 240. And then I posted it on Facebook. You know, uh, man, I think shout out to my sis Mika. She commented and said it's like 150 where she at. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Nisimo. She said it's like 115 where she at. Man, and nobody's really talking about how, the economy still, the cost of living, affordability is still crazy. But one thing that has came down significantly is gas prices. I was at the gas station because I never let my gas tank really go under a half a tank. And that's a good trick. Every time my gas tank gets to like a half a tank, I throw something in there. And that way you'll never be on E or nothing like that. And you'll never really have to put a lot of money in the tank either. So I was on a half a tank and I threw $15 in the tank and it put me right back on Florida, put me right back on full, right around the full. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Normally it would have been like, an extra $10 to get there. But yeah, man. So shout out to the gas prices going down. The economy has to we just got to be a little bit more patient. I believe people talk about affordability, and that's the main thing right now. Midterms is around the corner. And if this economy is doing what it's supposed to do as far as affordability is concerned, then man, I think that the Trump administration will have a great turnout. But anyway, I'll say that conversation for another video to go, to dive deeper into that. But the subject at hand that everybody talking about, I seen so much commentary on it. I just had to weigh in on it. And as the title says, Jasmine Crockett for Senate. Is identity politics helping or hurting? Well, identity politics, is it helping or hurting as it pertains to Jasmine Crockett running for Senate? It depends. It depends on what side of the aisle or what side of the political spectrum you're sitting at. Because from my vantage point, I would think if you are a Republican, I think that this identity politics is working in your favor. But if you are a Democrat, I think it's hurting, because they really had a better candidate coming out of Texas for the Democratic Party. I forget his name, but That brother stepped down because Jasmine Crockett has a bigger name in the Democratic Party right now. She's more famous, but that doesn't mean anything. Now on the primary, yeah, that might mean a lot. She might win the primary, but on a state level, in a state like Texas that is historically Republican, that's Jasmine Crockett winning the primary mean it just that's going to solidify a win for the Republican Party. She doesn't have a chance on a state level to win a historical Republican state. I think the odds are totally against her. They had a better chance with the other guy that was more moderate, even though he was a Democrat. He's anti-Trump administration, but he was more moderate as far as his policy. And identity politics, man, is a crazy way to view politics. Everything is based on race. Everything is based on gender. Everything, when you operate out of identity politics, everything is, okay, I identify with this person on a personal note. But the only reason I identify is because they look like me, or they talk like me, or they look familiar. But what are their policies? It puts you in a situation where you have a Jasmine Crockett would feel comfortable enough to even run for Senate in a state like Texas. It puts you at a disadvantage when you're not studying policy and you just operating off of identity alone. And she came out with an ad that was, making her announcement that she was running for Senate. And the ad basically had her image. She was sitting there and she didn't say a word, but they were playing clips from Trump, basically, talking negatively about her being a low IQ person. And, the Democrat Party is, choosing Jasmine Crockett, their new hero. And she just turned. She was looking away from the camera at first. Then she turns and looks at the camera and smiles. And people were confused as to what message are you trying to relay in your first ad to let people know that you're running for office. Senate, that's a big deal. So you representing the state of Texas. And the ad that you choose to come out with, you don't even you don't say a word. It's just Donald Trump's critique of you in a negative light, and you smiling. What message are you trying to relay with that? So from my perspective, the message that you're trying to run your campaign suggests that, Donald Trump doesn't like me, so vote for me. See this is the kind of these are the kind of situations that you create off of identity politics. You fall right into Republicans' hands because statewide, people, the type of rhetoric that Jasmine Crockett promotes, right, is this anti-white, anti-establishment, just racialized identity politics with no substance behind it. Now, make no mistake, politics is politics. If you want to be critical of Trump, be critical of him. But I've always said, as it pertains to Jasmine Crockett, she doesn't have any legislation behind her to back her up. Like, you could say, well, Trump do the same thing. They go back and forth. But Trump has legislation and a track record of actually doing something behind him. You know what I'm saying? Like with Jasmine Crockett, it's nothing behind it. It's just a bunch of talk. You know, Trump out here, he putting in work. So you could talk, you could be, you could be polarizing, but if you don't have nothing substantial behind you, even the Democrats are looking like, I don't know about this. Like you cool as far as rallying up your base, rallying up your political party to want to get funding. I think she's great at, raising money. She can raise some money now because she'll get out there and get people, energized to want to come out and support people that are on the Democratic party side. She could go out there and rally up some money. But as it pertains to running for a seat in the Senate, oh no, that's the identity politics is hurting the Democratic Party on that aspect and helping the Republican Party. And this happens time and time again. And, Trump calling her a low IQ person. No, I totally disagree with that. I think she's a very highly intelligent person. I mean, all you got to do is just look at her background. She comes from Ivy League, schools and universities, and she got a law degree. She's highly intelligent, but the gag is this: she presents herself as a certain angry black woman stereotype, right? Her presentation is that of someone that would be considered ratchet. So that aspect of her is low IQ. She knows what she's doing, but she thinks she has to act that way to galvanize the black vote, which to me is a slap in the face to educated black women, black people, period. Because you're not really like that, but you think you have to present yourself like that to get the support from the black community. That right there, being in itself, sets you at a disadvantage. With people that are really in tune with politics, that's a turnoff. And it's a misrepresentation. It's a stereotype that I believe most educated black people are trying to get away from. Although you have a lot of people that identify with that, on a surface level. But when we talk about policy, that really ain't gonna get you nowhere on a national or a state level. Now, she might be able to pick a certain district to represent, and that might you cap yourself at a certain level when you present yourself in a way where all you talk about is racism. Okay, we get it. All right, racism exists. But what are your policies? And as far as I can see from Jasmine Crockett, she hasn't passed one piece of legislation as a congresswoman for the black community. Anything that she co-signed was actually for illegal immigrants. It was actually for LGBTQ rights and things like that. Like this is what a lot of them do. A lot of these Democrats that are black, they speak about the black people and all this and all that, but when they actually do anything, it's for other demographics of people. But it's cool to say because when you say that, it's polarizing and people like, yeah, but when you look at their track record, it doesn't reflect that. So I think really what's going to happen is she already said she's going to run. That puts the state of Texas, it pretty much secures a Republican seat in Texas because she doesn't have a chance to win in a state like Texas. Maybe another state she probably would have been some trouble in, but Texas, nah. You just gave that seat over right there with a Jasmine Crockett. She too she too she's too extreme. She's too far left, and you push the brother out that actually had a chance, and you secure the seat for the Republican Party. So identity politics in this situation actually helped the Republicans, and it's looking crazy for the Democrats because they torn apart. It's a civil war over this. Low key, they trying to keep it on the low. But yeah, man, that's just my thoughts on the situation. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. And until next time, we should see you soon. Peace and blessings.